unfortunately, that can only mean one thing. It's finals night. And here along with me is a man who knows very much what it's like to be in a final, unlike me, and that's Mr. K9. Good evening to you.
How's it going, man?
Not too bad, thank you very much. It's dark and grey and naff outside, but here in sim racing land, it's gorgeous as always. I'm sure.
Well, it's not always. We saw that in Hockenheim for the KTM the other week.
We
Not
certainly did,
sunshine.
didn't we? Yeah, some people had a shock then, didn't they? Let's face it. But tonight, it's all about mud and stuff.
Good fun. So, anyways, we're on to semi-final one here for the RFX part of the championship, the RFX class, which is the supercar class. And Palm will be in his first semi-final, so that's good from him.
Yeah, it's his first ever six-lapper.
And he's up against obviously two tough opponents in Dusty and Berries there, and obviously Kento, who's had a good run this season in this Ford Focus. So let's see. Only one of them will not be making it to the final.
Or
let's see who
they
it
might,
is.
theoretically, they might all make it.
No, they won't.
What if we had
top three drivers?
Oh yeah,
make
yeah.
it
Of course,
from
it doesn't matter about the time, does it? That's me. That's all right. It's early in the day for me. I've only been up for about 20 hours. Look, it's Friday tomorrow, and Friday my brain shuts down, so it's just getting ready early, okay? But in truth, if in this heat, if you went off seeding, which Project Cars doesn't, but if we did, you're probably looking at Dusty, followed by Berries, followed by Kento, followed by Palm. However, doesn't work like that, does it? That's the beauty of it. So if you just hear a funny noise in a moment, that's just me putting the stream up on my PC as well, because I will be doing so. Just so I get the lovely look
so
at any replay.
Berries has got the inside front row there, so he'll be happy with that for a semi.
Dusty won't mind that either.
On the back row on the inside, so they're pretty locked in on the inside there with those Audis. But let's see, who knows? Maybe Kento will send it around the outside of them all if he gets a good launch here.
Possible. I think Dusty will try and just get in there the inside corner and obviously stop Berries from getting that inside line, getting the inside apex, so that would force Berries around the outside of him.
Or it could be a big accident and Palm could slip through. So let's see what happens.
Kento got a good start as well, but so did Ryan, to be fair. Oh, they're all in. Yeah, that went to plan, I think. I think that went pretty much as I would have thought it might have.
No tyres knocked over here yet. We saw that was a problem for a couple guys in the qualifying. Just see Kento ran a bit wide there.
Yeah. You spoke too soon.
Some more tyres. I think that's 2 sets of tyres.
You dared to say it.
Luckily for Berries, he was carrying some... he still had 2 warnings in the bag, I think. So he probably hasn't used up a penalty yet.
Yeah,
he will be close now.
That was his get out of jail free card gone out the window, I think.
Yeah.
You had to say that, didn't you? I knew that happened.
See the 2 guys here in the Joker, so they both take it together. It's pretty interesting for them to have taken it so close together, because we know that it's usually used as a tactical move, but as it stands, Kento is the one that is fighting now to get into that final.
I think Kento wanted to stay on his ass, for want of better words, and he's got there because he's run it wide.
He's up into third now. Palm runs it wide. He makes the same mistake Kento made previous lap.
Oh, and we follow the tyres that are in third place. Sorry, no, they're not. But they both really, of all that, they both really took to it well. We've got to say that. Oh, I don't think.
Dusty takes his Joker now.
That's a surprise. He didn't get a good first corner there, did he? Or was that just me?
He had a good enough gap there on Berries, I think, and on this track the Joker's not too much of a hassle to get done, so I think he just thought, why not just take it now?
Yeah.
So Berry's the only one not to have taken his Joker yet.
Yeah. His track position might have dictated that, as you alluded to there, I think. I think you're quite right, having watched the replay, his car was pointing right at it, so I think it made sense to go. But I don't think he got the first part of the Joker right from his perspective, so Ryan might have a chance of... I don't think it's over for him yet, although there's a couple of seconds gap going on there, and I think Palm's had a bit of a disaster, bless him, because he's 14 seconds off, so something not too great must have happened to him then.
I reckon, I mean, Barry's probably just going to hold off for his Joker and leave it till the very end.
Yeah.
Unless he finds himself at an awkward angle and thinks it's easier to go into the Joker, he'll probably just leave that till the end.
Yeah, if everything goes to plan, it'll be lap 6, won't it? Unless position dictates otherwise.
Definitely. And Dusty, I mean, with a big gap, and he's taken that Joker, so he'll be pretty happy with how this race is going for him right now.
Yeah, he'll just be looking for a clean run. Time doesn't matter in these, does it?
You can see Kento looks like he's struggling a bit down that straight. The car just looks a little twitchy. He's probably got a bit of damage somewhere along the line.
There's no front bumper, so that might lead to. I'm gonna hedge a bet that he might have a bit of suspension, but he's going for the full send. Fair play to him.
As you do in rallycross, you can see Palm also battle scarred there. So unfortunately for him, he's looking right now as it stands that he probably won't make the final, but who knows when it comes down to any potential penalties. We'll have a see.
You never know what's what. You never know what's what. But in fairness, he's got the base technique really well. He's picked that up really well. Same with Kento. The two of them have done so, and it's
not the easiest track to learn on either. So it's really good just jumping in here from scratch.
Like I say, these guys have come in on our, I won't say on our worst, on our most difficult races with regard to both genres that they've joined in with. To be fair,
especially Palm. I mean, Palm joined two of the hardest ones we've done in a while. So.
And he's acquitted himself pretty damn well, to be fair. So, got to give
Barry's has just taken his Joker there.
Yeah, and he's come out.
So they've still got one more lap to do, so he didn't leave it right till the last minute.
No, I think the gap was already there, so I don't think it really mattered.
Who's spun off?
Yeah, well, I think I wouldn't penalise Ryan for that. Yeah, he was just trying to.
Oh, he runs it wide, but that might have just been a glitch because he's perfectly back on track again.
That was definitely lag. A
little bit of a lag.
Yeah, I mean, if you can drive like that, then I want to know what you're drinking.
And the laws of physics don't apply to you.
Yeah. There used to be a program called Automan that was on in the 90s where the car would just go around the corner, like it would just grip like nothing else on earth. Any real person could never do it, but they would just keep going as Dusty comes around and takes what in the end was a comfortable win.
First semi-final.
And I think
Barry's will take second there.
Obviously, the tyres would have given him that. Kento was said hello to the tyres that I usually say hello to if I'm ever racing here. To be honest,
it's a very tough corner, that one.
I always used to hit them.
Hard on the brakes.
Yeah, I'd always come flying in. I wouldn't.
Ooh, just makes a mistake there on the final corner. But luckily for him, Palm has also made a couple of mistakes there.
Yeah.
And,
oh, look. The fire truck has swapped positions from Monday night. It's changed over. There you go. That shows how observant I am. Anyway, 5 minutes for Dusty. 5:07 for Ryan. Not that it matters massively. Kento 5:30. Palm 5:17. Obviously,
minutes to save the replays, as it is quite a critical point to do so.
Yeah, we're gonna. Obviously, there'll be a little bit of a gap for those of you that have been with us for a few weeks, few years, few whatevers. But those of you that kind of know the script normally and the way that we do things here, tonight there'll be a little bit of a gap between Semi 1, Semi 2 and the final here in RFX and probably even in the lights as well to a lesser degree. Reason for that is basically down to the tyres. Here more so than anywhere else, those tyres obviously can get hit and they become an obstacle and you end up having a Krypton Factor assault course to try and navigate rather than just a rallycross course, which is enough in itself. So what is happening? We actually have a system in place where obviously people were allowed one or two infringements, shall we say, for want of better words, in which the tyres can get knocked. And then obviously we went into where there would be penalties incurred, usually on the basis of a 5-second penalty once you'd got to the third infringement. So the first two were warnings. Third time was first of your 5-second penalties. So if you then did it 6 more times, you'd get another 30 seconds. Hopefully you wouldn't do it another 6 more times. The idea being to promote safe, careful, due care and attention type driving to make it easier for everybody, because it's not the easiest thing, and trying to avoid lots and lots of brown tyres as well ain't the easiest thing on earth, let me tell you. And these things can do you some serious engine damage, can they not? They are naughty.
They can, but sorry about that. I just went to go check everyone was ready there.
No, that's fine. That's okay. I gathered that, which is why I did what launched into my monologue. I'm good
Anyways,
at monologues.
So we've got our next race. We've got a new cameraman, Dusty. I don't know if he's been cameraman before. I don't think he has. This will be new. And I'm racing here with Kenny and Retic. So I hope you guys enjoy the show.
So you can teach an old dog new tricks. No offense, Dustin, if you're listening to this later, or even if you're listening to it now, but you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Cool, guys. I'll check you guys after when just before we head into the finals.
Yeah, and you haven't actually got any warnings yet, have you? Or did you say you've got one?
No, I've got a warning.
You've got one, so you can hit one lot of tyres and that's it. That's your lot, sunshine.
I don't like to hit any, so we'll see how it goes.
No, hey, best of luck. Try not to hit any other cars either, which is one. Actually, you're a magnet for them at the moment, but that's another thing entirely. Reverse your polarity.
Cool, guys.
Enjoy. Have fun. Anyway, so as K9 just said then, obviously we are into semi number 2, of which there are 3 people, and the top 3 will go through to the final. I'll let you work that one out, unless you really need me to state the blatantly bloody obvious, but it kind of is what it is, isn't it? There's 3 in it, there's 3 going through, so it's basically just about accumulating championship points, really. 5 points for the winner, 4 for second, 3 for third. You've got the drill. Actually, it's 6 for the winner. There's supposed to be 6. So 6 for the winner, 5 for second, 4 for third place, and maybe 3, 2, 1 as necessary. Obviously, into the final, by winning the final, you get a bit of a bonus because you get 8 for winning the final as opposed to 6. So that's where the extra points can come in. So you could theoretically win the event. So you could win this event, win the final, but you may not be the person that gains the most championship points, because if Kenny, for example, won the heats, won the qualifying, he could have 16 points carried forward from that, but he might come second in the final. So you kind of get the drift. Anyway, so here we are. At the moment, you know what, that's probably about the fairest spread you could have for 3 cars. Ratek's obviously got the best position there in the middle, but if Kenny gets a good start, he might be able to get that inside line and force Ratek outside him. K9's probably got the worst of the 3. However, again, if he gets a good start, he might be able to, or even if he was slightly behind, he might be able to do a switchback on them and go out to in. But we'll see. 6 laps coming forward anyway, and I think K9 let them get away. I think K9's let him get away, and he's going to look to come in on the inside. But the main thing is everyone's got through nice and cleanly, and that's what matters. So Ratek's got the lead, but he's going to be put under pressure by Kenny, who will also be put under pressure by K9. And it could be about who takes a joker. If everybody keeps it clean and it stays safe, then it could all be about the joker. Obviously, with the front 2 battling out, that could play into K9's hands. Kenny was very careful coming around there. Fair play. I don't think you could get closer without hitting him, but that was pretty good going. Has anyone gone joker? I didn't actually see if anyone did go joker then, but I think, yeah, Ratek did. I wasn't sure from whether he had or not, but so he's took the joker and landed in front of Kenny. But if Kenny gets this inside line, oh, that was a mega full send at the rear then from K9. He did that for the cameras, I'm sure. But at the moment, these 2 are battling away. Kenny's probably got the de facto lead, because if he gets the joker right, of course, joker is certainly quicker on this, if not most other tracks. But I'd be interested to see if K9 were to take the joker early, just in order... Oh, he's done something there. I'm not sure what he did, but it doesn't matter because he's still going through to the final anyway. Oh, this is where Kenny's got in. Yep, Kenny's got in. He will come out in front and left. Oh, he's messed that up a bit. He's messed that up. That's cost him. He's messed it up. But he still came out slightly in front. He got lucky a bit there. I'd say he got lucky there. He did get lucky, but it's a good battle. Obviously, K9's decided not to take the Joker yet, just to see what goes on. It's probably more of a reconnaissance mission for him now, just to get more used to it before the final. Just to try and get used to it. But it was always going to be tough. It was always going to be a tough gig. But these two are probably going to fight it out. Kenny obviously got the box seat at the moment, but we're only halfway through. We're only 3 laps into 6, so hey, anything could happen yet. And in Rallycross it usually does. So, but again, nice to see them coming around and showing the control, because people might be watching this and thinking you're just throwing these cars around. Trust me, try it out for yourself. If you are just watching this and you don't really appreciate what's going on as K9 goes for his Joker, but if you don't really appreciate, there are some tyres gone, but I didn't notice actually who destroyed them. It might have been K9 when he did his full send on the previous lap, but don't quote me on that, just in case. Oh. So Kenny's going around there now, and Ratek, yeah, I think this is, he's pulled away a little bit now. He's managed to eke out a bit of a gap. So I think at the moment he's pretty comfortable now. He's probably just going to bring it home nice and easily. I wish we had tyre models on here so we could see, because I'm sure these tyres would be being absolutely pillaged. I won't use the other phrase that gets used with it, but because that might not go down well. But these tyres will be getting completely and utterly murdered, for want of better words. Obviously, like I say, oh, what's happened there? I think K9's had a few issues. He might have some damage, I'm not sure, but he could well have, because it's not like him to be that far adrift. Again, yeah, he's got a couple of good guys here, but I think he gave himself some damage when he did that full send on the other corner, because he might have hit the tyres. And as we all know, the tyres in this game, they're made out of lead. Even the rubber ones, they're lead lined. They're like being hit with lumps of concrete. You smack these with your car and you get engine damage, you get front end damage, you get suspension damage. They're lethal. They're just mean and nasty. But so I think he's probably hit some of them, and I think, you know what, he's just going to take it easy and be thankful that there's only 3 in this race, and keep his powder dry for the final. He would hope. But at the moment, it's kind of going to plan for the front two, and K9's going to go into some full sends, because he don't like to do rallycross without full send. It's not rallycross for him without full send. I think he'd rather not win and do some crazy full sends than winning without doing crazy full sends. I'm sure he'll let me know on that one later, but I just know that it is the thing for him, if I can say it that way. If people can have a fetish, he's got a full send fetish. That's about as close as we're going to get to that sort of analogy. As Kenny takes the win, Ratek comes through in second place. And here comes K9 doing some more full send, hoping that the cameras are on him. Yes, they are on you this time, mate. We are watching you doing this. So go on, give it some full send, as you really, really want to. And try not to hit those tyres like you just did with your bottom. Okay, so I knew you were going to do that. I could just see that coming. You could have took your Joker twice and got an extra 30-second penalty if you really wanted to, but I don't think that really is going to matter too much. Go on. Let's see a full send for the very last bend. Go on. I know you want to do it without hitting those tyres. There you go. And you got in there at the end. I think, in all fairness, that was probably the most full sendy sort of ending that we've had for a while, but that was interesting. That was nice and clean and good fun, and I think the only person that really walloped any tyres in that was Kyle anyway. But I think he might have got away with it, because I think he'd only had one warning before, but he did tap the rear of one bale afterwards. Sorry, he tapped one bail afterwards with his rear. Let's get that right. So it looked to me as if he might have incurred 1 5-second penalty, but don't quote me just in case I haven't got that completely and utterly correct. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to affect anything with regard to where we are points wise in these. Anyway, that kind of sets us up for the final. So obviously we will have 6 cars in the final as opposed to the 4 and the 3 that were in the 2 semis. Unfortunately for Palm, he's the unlucky part of the Magnificent 7 to have missed out. But hey, no shame in that, mate. You got to finals night on your first ever effort at Rallycross, and in all fairness, I think you've made a pretty good fist of it, mate, for what that's worth. Both yourself and Kento have both took to it very well, and you've both been really good additions to the group with regard to getting into Rallycross and sort of picking it up very quickly. So kudos to you both for that. You're only going to get better. So that's good stuff for you. In the meantime, of course, we're currently showing Dusty as a cameraman still, but that will change, don't worry, because he won't be cameraman because he's going to be in the final. In fact, from his point of view, he'll be hoping he can win it, but he won't win it if he's a cameraman, will he? And although he's called Dusty Bin, I know he hasn't got an avatar that's Dusty Bin. Probably because it's copyrighted, but I'm sure one day he'll be able to get a Dusty Bin avatar off 321. For those of you that are around mid to late 40s or older, you'll know exactly what I'm on about. For those of you that are younger, Google it. It was a game show in the 80s with a bloke called Ted Rogers. And the booby prize, after being offered lots and lots of wonderful, wonderful prizes, was a dustbin. And it was called Dusty Bin. There you go. Bit of television trivia history for you as well thrown in. Nothing is left to chance here at Race Space. We like to educate people as well. Because especially if people are off with lockdowns and things like that, you can get an education here. You can learn how to do rallycross. You can understand the rudiments of how the mathematics are worked out for rallycross, for championship points, for qualifying points. You can see what the difference is about being in certain grid positions, what it means, what different lines mean, etc., etc. There's so much more you can learn. So if your parents think you're watching too much sim racing on TV, tell them it's educational. It's just amazing. And look, I'm 53. I know what I'm talking about. Actually, I've probably got Alzheimer's, so I probably don't know what I'm talking about. But ignore that completely. That's just me waffling. But anyway, for your final this evening, we have the indomitable K9, who probably hopes to not have a repeat of his semi-final, which was, to put it rather bluntly, an absolute unmitigated disaster, wasn't it? Come on, let's be truthful. Berries obviously will be hoping to do quite well here, as will Kenny as well. And I won't, because I'll be here talking, of course, as I usually do, because I'm good at talking. And if you haven't worked that out, then why the hell do you think I'm called Motormouth? There is a reason, honest, there really is. And as some people might not live up to their pseudonym, I can honestly tell you that I do. K9 lives up to his reputation because he eats dog food. Berries lives up to his name because he eats berries. Kenny Shep lives up to his name because he used to watch Blue Peter a lot, and John Noakes had a dog called Shep, and he thought he wanted that to be part of his name. That's obviously a lie, but it doesn't matter. Dusty Bin is called Dustin, and it sounds like if you put dust and then in at the end, you only need to remove the Y and the B, so it's Dusty Bin. Ratek, his name is Ratcliffe, believe it or not, but I'm told he looks like a rat, so that's why I am joking. Palm is, he looks like a palm tree, so I'm told. He branches out everywhere, and he likes to be in tropical climes, so that's why he's called Palm. I'm joking. I absolutely have no idea. And Kenton is obviously called Kenton. And if he's not, then I haven't got a clue. But for the purposes of this, he's called Kenton. And according to this, he was born in 1938, if he uses the same sort of reason for having a number at the end that other people do. But if he was born in 1938, that means he's like 83. So that's probably a lie as well, because I know he's a lot younger than that. Anyway, enough of all that palaver. You've got a 16% chance of guessing the winner. So you've got 6 laps, 6 people. One of them's going to win. I know I've stated the blatantly obvious, haven't I? But let's be fair, guys. It's true. Not quite sure who my money's on. I really... even over 6 laps, you'd think if you went off seeding, you'd probably pick, and no disrespect to anyone here, you'd probably go for Dustin, Kenny, Berries, Ratek, K9, Kenton. Forgive me, guys, if I've disappointed you with that. Oh, K9's got the worst possible position alongside Dustin at the rear. Kenny is probably going cock-a-hoop at the fact that he's now on the front after being on the rear of every grid for about 97 races. But him and Ratek have got a really good position. Kenton's on the very inside, which might make it difficult for Berries and K9. Dustin will just be hoping to get a really good shout off there and maybe go out to in at the first corner. Let everyone go, but get out to in. He's probably the guy with the most pace, obviously, because he's got the world record everywhere. That stands for itself. So he will fancy himself pace-wise. Will he take an early joker to get track position? Don't know. But we might see 1 or 2 early jokers for that reason. Anyway, enough of the talking. Pedal to the metal. Here we go. And we're off, as they say in certain races. So Kenny gets a good one, but Ratek went really wide there to come around. Might have come a cropper there. Oh, and Dustin and Kenton. Again, I think that was... I don't think either really knew where anyone else was, but K9 was the biggest winner of that lot, getting himself up into 3rd place from the back of the grid. Dustin and Ratek obviously didn't come out very well there, but it really suited Kenny. Really suited Kenny and Mr. Berries there, who really did well out of it, as did K9. So, here we go. That's your front 3 at the moment. But is anyone... Right, so K9's going to go for an early joker, as is Ratek and Dustin. I thought some would. I didn't think 3 would, but I thought some would. I really did think some would go early because of the track positioning, etc. So, Kenny and Berries are still there. Obviously, the 3 behind have also kept their positions, track positions as is. So it's just going to be a run out for those 3. With Kenny and Berries, in reality, probably leaving the joker right to the death, I would have thought. Under normal circumstances, that's where you'd be leaving those jokers. But the battle is on. Obviously, Dustin and Ratek are going to be really trying to push the boat out and try and gain on K9 if they can. Kenton obviously had a little bit of a problem, but hey, he's the newest guy to this, so even being in a final, in fairness, no disrespect to you, mate, is exceptional work. So, and he's only going to improve over time. And these guys have been doing this for quite some time, so in all fairness, it's no disgrace if you do come at the back of the pack of this lot. Anyway, so fair little battle going on here. Kenny obviously has now done his joker. There's only Berries who hasn't done his joker. So Berries might leave it to the death in the hope of trying to get that gap down to Kenny, with the hope of getting out the joker quicker, because the joker lap is undoubtedly quicker. There's no 2 ways about that. If you get the first apex right, the second one will take care of itself. But this is where it's getting tight now for these 3. Obviously, Dustin has managed to get through. Oh, K9 just caught the edge of the tyres. Oh, I know what he'll be saying, but I'm not going to repeat it. But it was going pretty well for him until then. He just went a little wide. Obviously, you just touch those tyres and they ain't moving. So that's probably a little bit of suspension damage for him as well, unfortunately for him. But in the meantime, the battle at the front, nearly 2/3 of the way in. Ryan's trying to get that gap down, but I don't really think he's making too many inroads. I mean, Dustin will be trying his you-know-what's off to try and bridge that gap a little, as Ratek took it a little bit too much and lost a bit coming through there. But in all fairness, there's plenty of tyre rubber being burned around here. There'll be that smell of rubber whizzing all across Hockenheim circuit after this one. So it'll be interesting. Like I say, I don't think Mr. Berries is going to take his Joker until lap 6. He really needs to get. He wants a mistake out of Kenny. Not that I'm wanting him to make one, but he really needs a mistake out of Kenny, I think, to make, even if he aces the Joker, for want of other sayings. I think even if he aces that Joker, that the gap that Kenny's got will still bring him out a good half a second in front, I think, at least. But Dustin was trying to close that off a little bit, and he is closing off a little bit, but he needs 2 or 3 more laps. He was too far off the pace after, and I think we just had a bit of a bash at the back there. I think we had a little bit of a bash. I'm not so sure. I can't see any damage unless it was just a full send, but hey, it's not the first time I've been wrong. So anyway, Berries has done said Joker, and obviously, like I say, he only made about 0.4 of a second, I think, on Kenny. So it's Kenny's to take, which will then give him 2 events lead over anyone else. I think that'll move him on to 9 wins, 9 event wins, as opposed to 7 that I think Jacques got previously. Hiya, Dragon. Hiya, mate. I just noticed you on there, so if you put that up a little while ago, sorry, mate, I didn't see it before now. Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying this. But, yeah, as Kenny comes around to take it, I don't think, from his grid position, obviously first is not bad. I think Berries will be quite happy with his. In fairness, for Dustin, probably disappointed with 3rd, just because of the guy's reputation and what his previous is. But I think that was a pretty good effort, all things considered. As Ratek comes in and takes 4th, and we look at the fire truck, which moved from the right to the left. It was there on Monday. See how observant I am? I am, aren't I? Even if I do say so myself. But that was quite an interesting final, I think. I think that was pretty good. Kudos to Kenny for that. Berries and Dustin, the other podium sitters. Can I say sitters? They'd be stood on the podium, wouldn't they, rather than sitting? But the term of phrase is podium sitters. But a good race was had by all, I think. I think it was good fun. I'd like to think that you all enjoyed it. I'm sure Palm enjoyed being a cameraman. So thanks to him for camera duties there. Well done on that one, mate. And this is the end of this one, because we're going to be doing the lights final after this, and I'm racing in that, so you're going to listen to somebody else waffling for the good viewpoint of that for the semi and final, and hopefully I won't crash into too many tyres, but I probably will. Anyway, on that happy note, I shall bid you good evening. We'll see you again here in about 2 or 3 minutes with another stream, with the RF2s, with the lights, 300 horsepower crazies, with idiots like me driving them. We'll see you soon. Enjoy.